Assalamu alaikum everyone, hope you're all fine. Welcome back to my channel. And today we'll be doing the computer science paper 2 9618, and the variant is 21. This is paper 2. Let's do it. Question number 1. The program is being developed to help the manager of a shop control the stock. An identifier table has been used during the design stage. Complete the identifier table. So the data example value is this. Category of the stock that is sold in the shop. So it can be stock category. Alright, and the data type is string. Second is when an item was sold. So it is date sold. This is going to be sold. The cost of an item cost. This is going to be real. To indicate if an item is in stock, so it can be stock, and it is boolean. All right. Now the part B, module sale, is part of the stock control program. The table contains pseudocode extracts from the module sales. An extract may include all or part of the assignment, selection, and iteration. So we just have to identify that the pseudocode extract. So this is the first one is the assignment. The second is definitely the iteration. The third one is also the iteration. The fourth one is the selection, and the fifth one is selection. All right. Although in this if we also have an assignment statement. This is the assignment statement. We also can mark this in this category. All right. Now the question number 2, decomposition had been used to design the program to help the shopkeeper manager control the describe decomposition. Decomposition is breaking down a complex into subproblems from it. This is 1 point. We have 3 marks, so at least three points. And so breaking it down into subproblems. So these subproblems then so that the problem is fully defined to understand various parts, task. All right. So this leads to the modules or modular diagram or functions procedures. All right. So these are the points that we can write. 3 points are enough to secure the 3 marks. A program is being developed. So now question number 2. Program is being developed to calculate the pay of employees working for a company. A function calculate bonus pay based on the value of sales. Bonus pay is calculated as shown in the table. If the value of the sale is below 2000, there is no bonus. If it is between 2000 and 4000, it is 10 in dollars, and if it is above 4000, it is 100 in dollars. Flowchart for the function calculate bonus has been designed, and you can see it has the structured English or the algorithm written inside it. Now let's see what is the question. One logic error is that the bonus pay will not be set to 10. Bonus pay will not be set to 10, although the value of the sale input is between 2000 and 4000 inclusive. It says that even if the value entered is meeting the range, is meeting the criteria that the amount, the bonus, the sale is between 2000 and 4000, and consequently the bonus must be set to 10. But this flow chart is not doing this. Why this error occurs? क्यों ऐसा हो रहा है? Why it is not reaching to the? So the reason here is that if you see when the bonus is input, like if I enter here input value of sales, if for example it is 3000 sale, now you see this condition is not letting this 3000 to be entered to meet the condition. So when you enter the 3000, it will go to no and it will return the bonus pay, which is actually 0. So even for the 3000, the bonus pay is not setting to its right value. Only if the value, if you enter the bonus pay, let's say 4500, only then it is coming to yes, and then it is checking yes, then it is setting it to 10. So for the 4500, it is incorrect. So basically this is not a correct. So what is the reason? Why is this happening? You can see that for the criteria 2000 to 4000, the value, the bonus, the sale must first be tested or checked against the lowest range, the lowest bound, or the lowest value. It must first be validated on base of this. So basically, this decision box should be here and this must be here. First, it should check 2000 and then it should check 4000. All right. So what we can write over here is that explain why this error occurred, because the decision boxes are in wrong order, right? So they are in the wrong order. So this is enough for it. So it means this means the first must be what is the correction? Correction is that it must be, instead of 4000, it must be 2000, and for value of sale it must be less than 4000. Actually, this is the correction that is needed over here. How the error could be corrected? As I did, that the first box, the first decision box should check the sales value equal or greater than 2000. So this is what we have to do in it. All right. So this must be corrected. Now there are different ways to reduce the risk of errors. And state a value that could be replaced by errors. Let me write this, highlight this. When developing the new program, such as the use of constant, state a value that could be replaced by a constant in the function calculate bonus. Which values can be replaced? Calculate in the function that could be replaced by a constant. So constant values can be any values like this 10, 100, 2000, 4000, wherever you see a fixed number that can be replaced by. So 10, it can be 10, it can be 2000. So all these values can be replaced. Now the second part, explain how the use of constants help to reduce the risk of programming errors. Now let's see what's in it. How the use of the constants help to reduce the risk of programming. This is something that we usually quote whenever we are referring to the so the help of the constant, number one, which is very values remain fixed, be changed. All right, the one thing. Makes program more clear and easy to Okay. And another way that can reduce the risk of errors when writing the program in the is the use of the library routines. Explain how library routine can reduce the risk of programming errors. So library routines, they are pre-written and pre-tested error-free codes. All right, so this is the simple and concise thing you can write. Now the next question, all the logical errors have been corrected and the program has been coded. Logical errors, they have been corrected. Identify and describe two other types of the errors. So one error is definitely the syntax error. The other error is the syntax error is the error in the grammatical errors. All right, the error related to the violating the rules, means the rules of the language they are not followed. And runtime error, any illegal operation. the program followed. All right. Now the question number 3, a student has been asked to create a simple guessing game program. The program will generate a random number between 1 and 100. It will then repeatedly prompt the user to input an integer value until they input the randomly generated value. The student has written a structured English description. So this all is the structured English description. Randomly generated. So step number 1 is that it randomly generate an integer value between 1 and 100 inclusive. Step number 2, prompt the user to input an integer value. Step 3, output an appropriate message if the value input was too high, then repeat from step 2. Step 4, output an appropriate message if the value input was too low, then repeat from step 2. Step 5, output an appropriate message if the value input was the same value that was randomly generated. In these kind of the question, I usually advise my student to please read the question very carefully, highlight the important point, and then after comprehending it well, then you can start writing the answer. All right. So let's start. Step number 1, randomly generate an integer. So write pseudocode. What we have to do in it, we have to write a pseudocode from this algorithm. No input validation is needed. All right. So we need to declare variables. One is the random value, and then we declare user guess. It is also integer. And then the random value is so it will be provided in the insert, the various available functions, built-in function, and rand is one of the function that randomly generate a number, and the number here is given as between 1 and 100 inclusive, so we write only one parameter. It always start from 0, and then if you read the insert, you will find that the rand generates a real number. All right, so in order to convert it into a whole number, we need to use another built-in function, that is integer. And after this converting it into integer, there's one more thing we usually practice, and that is adding +1. Most of the time the student, they ask about why to add this one. Basically, the question says 1 and 100 inclusive. If there was no inclusive, then there was no need to add +1 over here. This +1 is actually shifting the numbers one digit forward. How? The random, when we give 100 to the rand, it starts generating the number from 0.0 till 99.9. So the possibility is very, very detailed possibility. It's not randomly 1, 2, 3, and 4. It is generating the numbers between 0.0 to 99. So there's a possibility that it generate a number. First, it might generate a number 0.5. So when it will be rounded, it becomes 0. So 0 plus 1 means, so 0 is not needed, so we are not printing 0, we are starting from 1. Plus 1 means whenever the number between 0.1 to 0.9 will be generated, which will be rounded to 1, not rounded, which will be converted into an whole number, then it become 1, 0. So by adding 1, we will actually start from the first lower bound of this range, 1. And likewise, when the number 99 point something will be generated, and again it will be pass through the integer, it will become 99. So when adding 1 means it become 100. So that is the reason we are adding 1 every time the number is generated, and the number is bringing down into the number is converted into an integer from the real. All right. After this, now we prompt and ask the user to we can use the repeat until here, because what's the benefit of using repeat until? There's no need to take the input once out and one inside. Otherwise, while could be used, so we will use repeat until here. Repeat until has a benefit that you only ask once. What? Prompt the user to input an integer value, the step number 2. So we'll write output, and we ask for the person to enter a, we'll ask enter a guess 1, 2. So we ask the person to enter a guess, and then that is the user, the guess. All right. Now the step 2 is also done. Output an appropriate message if the value was too high. So we'll, if user guess, now what is the condition? That if the user output, if the value was too high, if the user guess is greater than what? The random value. Then what will we do? Output. So what is the output? The guess is too high. And if the user guess is less than random value, then guess is too low. And if. And this loop will keep happening until the user guess is equal to the random value, and in the end we have to output, once it is done, number correctly. This is the answer of this question. All right, we are done with step 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the next question, question number 4, state the algorithm, study the algorithms. So this is an algorithm which is very important, and it is one very important algorithm, and it relates to one of the sorting technique. All right, you have to identify this in it. So the first question says the outer loop structure. Which one is the outer loop? This is the outer loop, and this is the outer loop. The outer loop structure used in algorithm is not the most appropriate one to use. State the type of the loop structure that would be most appropriate to use and justify why it is the most appropriate. For this, the only reason that the loop used here is not appropriate, you should know that the while loop is called a condition loop, and it is most appropriate when the iterations are unknown. You don't know how many times the loop is going to repeat. And alternate to this is the for loop. For loop is a count control loop where the number of iteration is known. So you know how many times the loop is going to repeat. So here you can see the while is I is 2, I is less than 4, I plus plus. So what the I is doing, while is just doing the job of this control activity. So this is not an appropriate use of the while. So the loop structure must be a count control loop. Justification. What is the justification? Because the iterations are known. Because we know how many times this loop is repeating. So this is the answer for this A part. All right. Part B. Complete the trace table by dry running the algorithm. Now we have to do the job of trace table. Trace table means we have to run this code. This is one very important and good question that came in your AS paper 2 2025 by June. We have to do the dry run on it. So how can we do this? So you can see that this I is 2. We start from here. I is 2, and the values of these arrays. This thing is done here in this line, in this row. I is 2. ये काम पहले से, this is already done. I is 2, and the values of this array is already given to us. All right. We have to start from this line. While I is less than 4, I started from 2, and this I is, unless it is not less than equal to 4, these lines will keep repeating. Okay. So let's do. So when I is 4, so it means this char, the fourth, sorry, this I is not 4 in the start, wrong. When I is 4 means I is 2. The tooth location of this array char will be given to key. So what is in the tooth location? We have T. So what will come in the key? T. So key will have T. All right. So move next. So we did this, and J is now I minus 1. 2 minus 1, so J become 1. So when J is 1, so we put 1 here. Char 1 has D. So we write D over here. All right. Now we will be doing this line, means we'll compare J is greater than equal to 0. So this point is valid. Right now what we did, J1 minus 1 is, so this is J is 1. So it means 1 is greater than equal to 0. This is correct. And then the char J, which is right now, what is in the char J? The charge J is D. So this D is compared with key. What is in the key? Key has T. So we are comparing D with the key. So key is T. We are comparing D with the T. And now here you also need to know that we can compare the alphabets based on their sequence or their order. So the number which is in coming first has a lowest weightage, and the number which is on the like A, B, C, and so on. So A, you know, in the ASCII it is 65, it is 66, it is 67. So we can say that A is less than B and B is less than C. So D is definitely less than T. D comes first and T comes onward. So this condition is false. So AND says if both conditions are true, only then you can run these two lines. But here one condition is true, so we'll skip this. And when the condition is false, we move to this chars. Now what is in the charge? J plus 1. Charge J plus 1 will get, so when we come on this line, charge J plus 1, what was in the J? J was 1, 1 plus 1 charge, it means it is 2. At the 2th location we get the key. What was the key? The key was T. So now you are on the J plus 1 is J plus 1 is J is 1 plus 1 2, so this is, now this is the key. Now the key next time is this. All right, and I is I plus 1. I is equal to I plus 1, so that become 2 plus 1 is 3. It is 3, and when it is 3, we again start from the beginning. Again from here, so 3 is less than equal to 4, so it is correct. So now this time here 3, char 3 become the key. So what is char 3? Char 3 is this H. Now this here we have H, and then 3 minus 1 is 2, and then putting 2, then J minus 1 is 2. All right, so charge 2th location, this become T here. Okay, so by this now we'll move forward. J is 2, so we did this, now we're here. 2 is greater than equal to 0, it is true. And then the 2th location, which is T. So now this is 2th location is T. Is this T is greater than key? What is key? Key is H. Now we are comparing T with the H. So when we compare T with the H, T is now greater than H. Here the condition is true. So the both are true. This is true, this is true. It means the overall is true. So when it is true, we'll move inside it. Now what will happen inside it? Now this I'm just using these two lines again over here so that you get a better understanding. Charge. So we have 2 plus 1 is charge 2. So basically the 2 value is stored. What is at the charge 2 plus 1? So charge 2 plus 1 is H, which is 3. So this 3 is gonna be charge 2 location. What is at the 2? No, the number at the 2 is T. Alright, the number at the 2 is T. The T is going to be copied. यहाँ पे आपने बहुत गौर से इस चीज को देखना. This T is going to be copied at 2 plus 1 location. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 की जगह पे क्या आ जाएगा? T आ जाएगा. So we can write under the T here. यहाँ पे हमने T लिखी. We write T over here. क्योंकि आपने क्या किया? You basically copied the data from here and you put it here. आपने इसको उठा के इसकी जगह पे डाल दिया. All right. And after doing this, J is J minus 1. So J minus 1, 2 minus 1 is 1. Okay. Now we are at 1. जब आप J 1 पे आ गए तो it means कि this is now again 1. तो 1 location पर क्या है? 1 location पे है D. So now we have char. चार पे अब आप देखो मैं इसको क्रॉस करके यहाँ पे क्लियरली लिखा हूँ. Now the char 1 here has D. अब आप again when it is D and while from here again it will go back. फिर ये वापस जाएगा. And then again it will compare the things. Now what is here? J is now 1. 1 is greater than equal to 0. Yes, it is true. And now what is in the J? Which is 1. D. J में अब T है. When you go back, this is T is greater than equal to key. What is key? Key is still H. So T is greater than H. Yes, T is, sorry, not T, it is D. I mistakenly write D. It is D is greater than H. No, D is not greater than H. All right, so there is no further iteration of the while loop. D is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So D is small. So this condition is false. So false means this will not be executed, and it will come to this line. Now char J plus 1 will have key, right? What is in the J? J has, J में इस वक्त है 1, 1 plus 1, 2 में क्या आ जाएगा? The 2 will have, इसमें आप देखें कि now what was the last value? Chars J plus 1. So we have the chars, the last value in the J was 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 पे क्या लेगा? 1 plus 1. J plus 1, 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 में आप key की वैल्यू डालोगे. 2 पे key की वैल्यू क्या थी? H. So H will come over here. Okay. This is, and then I is I plus 1. I क्या हो जाएगा? Now I is 4. Is 4. And when I is 4, again it go back. I is less than equal to 4. Yes, it is correct. I is less than equal to 4. When it is less than equal to 4, again फिर अब वहीं से सारी चीजें revert back. I is now 4. 4 is now key. So key is R. This is key. And J is I minus 1, 4 minus 1. So J is 3. And J is 3. 3 पे क्या है? H है. 3 has H. And then three is H. Now again coming, comparing, while J is greater than equal to 1, J की वैल्यू हमारे पास यहाँ पे क्या है? J is 3, 3 is greater than equal to 0, yes it is true. And then J3, 3 की location पे 3 value charge की is greater than key. So what is that 3? Basically it is now 3. 3 पे हमारे पास H है. So H is compared with R. So basically H is compared with R. So when H is compared with R, H is not greater than R. Alright, R is on the later on sequence and H is earlier. So H is not greater than R. Okay. So when H is not greater than R, तो ये lines अब execute नहीं हो रही. What will happen now? So we have in the 4, just a minute, मैंने एक mistake किया. What was that mistake? देखो, you should remember that when the trace table moves onward, so the last value of 3 is not H. Now the last value of 3 is T. तो यहाँ पे मुझे H नहीं लिखना, it is T. Right? So it is T. फिर ये condition मेरे ख्याल आगे moves. Not H is greater than R, it is basically T is greater than R. So RT is greater than R. Yes, it is correct. So the both conditions are correct. So that's why we move inside it. So when we move inside it, so again the same thing. There is a J plus 1 will have J's values. J plus 1. What is the J plus 1? 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 will have the J value. And what will happen here? This means the T will come over here. Why? Because this value will shift to the next, and this t will move next, and j is j minus 1, 2, and while 2 is greater than equal to 0, yes, true, again true, and the 2's value is compared with key. Key value is this, and what is in the 2's value? Value is h. अभी लास्ट वैल्यू हमने देखनी है 2 से. 2 की वैल्यू क्या है? h है. Now when again the 2's value, which is h, again compared with r, h is compared with r, h is greater than r, no, h is not greater than r. So basically the loop ends here, and we move to the next line. j plus 1 में अब क्या हो जाएगा? 2 plus 1 3 में आ जाएगा key की value. So what is 3? 3 gets the key's value, and that is the, यहाँ पे हम डाल देंगे की value डालेंगे. All right, and I is I plus 1, 4 plus 1 is 5. When it is 5, तो ये condition क्या हो जाएगी? False हो जाएगी, and the loop will stop. This is how the program ends over here. All right, G. So the 4 questions, this is the first part of my video. I'm sure you got the understanding of it. I'll now wait for my next part of the same video, in which I'll be covering the leftover videos, questions.